All right. Welcome back to I Feel Like This. Today,
How do you
I get
feel,
to be your
Jamie?
host. So we're doing a little different. I got my interview hat on going. So, many of you may know this, but Yolanda and Dantzel are from Brazil, which we talked about in our last episode.
Every episode.
They
It's
are
part of our
married
identity.
to Americans. So today we're going to talk about what it's like to fall in love with someone other than your country. I won't be saying much because, well, I'm married to
An American,
An American
too. You
too.
have a lot to say.
The sexiest man alive. guys.
that is true. That is true. True. But we're also going to be talking about building a family together and a new culture and eventually making the U.S. state home. So let's jump in.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to ask each of you a question. How did you each meet your husband?
Ah,
We'll start with Yolanda.
Oh, with me. So, we met on Facebook. So, of course, that wasn't random. Daniel served a full-time mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in São Paulo, Brazil. I lived in São Paulo, Brazil. But we never met while he was a missionary, but we were in the same area, so we have the same friends. We know the same people. So you know how Facebook suggests people. So one day, a very good friend of his was a very good friend of mine, and he said, "You guys, like when I talk to you, Yolanda, he's told to me, when I talk to you, I think of Daniel Farr. You guys have a lot in common." So he suggested that we added each other on Facebook. So we did, but at that time, Daniel was, I don't know, he was dating a girl. He has an interesting way of dating, but anyway, so he was, so we didn't click, so we just said hi and never talked again. But about a year later, one day I was doing nothing, saw him online, and we started talking, and it just clicked. And like he was like, "Wow, I don't," and he said that he was like, "I don't remember you having such a good sense of humor." I was like, "Well, I've been here all along." And then we started talking. We scheduled to have official talk on Skype. It was the time that Skype was a thing.
loved Skype,
You
guys.
remember Skype?
I vaguely remember Skype.
So
yeah.
we talked through Skype for 3 months. We did, and then Daniel went to Brazil to meet me, and came back 6 months later. No, not came back. Came back 4 years later with me and 2 children.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
My story, it's kind of similar to Yolanda's. My husband did a mission, was on a mission, also in Brazil. He was really good friends with my parents. A year later, after he finished his mission, he was still in contact with my parents. Then my parents decided to send me to America to study English. And I came to the same state as he was, and ended up going to the same city that he was doing some work. He lived up in the north area of Utah, and I came to study English in the south of Utah. And he was also going to school this way. So my parents told him that I was coming, where I was going, and he said, "Oh, that's great. I'm there too. I can get to know her better, and I introduce her to my family. And can she spend the holidays with us?" And that's how it started. And then we started spending a lot of time together, and things started changing really fast.
Was he going to Dixie too?
He was coming here more for work, and his plan was to start Dixie.
Oh, okay.
I started
Okay.
before. That's why it wasn't the booming of the construction area, 2008 here.
So why did you guys decide to stay here when you got married if he's from up north?
Because we had jobs here.
Okay.
Because I came to go to Dixie at the time, which now it's called Utah Tech, guys.
I was just gonna say it's now.
It's now Utah Tech.
It's not
It was
Dixie anymore.
Dixie. It was Dixie College, and I came because at the time it was 20 years ago. It was a lot cheaper for international students than was all the colleges up north. And then I came here, and also it's warmer, guys. I'm a jungle girl. from Brazil. I'm from the
Literally,
jungle.
she's from the Amazon.
I'm
okay?
the Amazon. I'm Jane, guys, and finally found my Tarzan.
So true.
Right? No, but no, I'm not Jane. I'm Pocahontas and finally found my John Smith, guys. That's more like it.
There
I
you
never
go.
watched it, Pocahontas. I'm sorry.
Yolanda.
She's from the Amazon, but she had TV. I'm from the forest, from center Brazil, like middle Brazil, Minas Gerais, but with no electricity. I saw electricity for the first time. I was 11 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I think the first TV was like I was 14, and it was black and white, So I didn't have that.
I came from I came from the jungle in the northern area, guys. But come on, my city is just as big as the whole state of Utah.
That's true.
And I come from the capital. Then of course we're a little bit more ahead in the development areas
Well,
than Yolanda City.
No, never lived in a city.
like when you were little, I don't know. Like for me, I always dreamed like who I was gonna marry, and like I would date guys and I would write my last name with them, thinking like to see if like that would go. But I know, like being in a different country, did you guys ever imagine that you would marry Americans and live in the United States, or was your dream to just be in Brazil?
I
And
don't know if I can answer that one without being weird.
I have my answer.
Okay, go ahead.
go ahead.
Never.
Never. Oh, okay.
I never imagined myself marrying anyone else that was outside of Brazil. Never had any desires. That was a surprise, and even though it was kind of like a mental struggle for me, like I love my Brazilian identity. I come from scholars in Brazil, people of the law, and and I never had much of this need to or this desire to go to a different country or a different culture. Never felt that pull. And that's what's the surprising thing. Here I am, guys, and I have been officially the same amount as I have been officially American, the same amount that I have been Brazilian, guys.
That's
20 years in
true.
each country. It's
That's
even
awesome.
now. It's kind of crazy to think about it. That, now I'm looking for other personalities and other places to go to create myself. I'm, if you are from another country and hear us, please give us a like and comment there. I might go visit you and stay there for more 20 years.
No, you cannot. You have children.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I don't know why, but I always were in love with the blue eyes. Since I was like a teenager, it was everything for me. So I was certain that I would marry Taylor Hanson. So he's from a band, the Hanson brothers. They were huge when I was, No.
I know. Actually, they were bigger
Sorry.
in Brazil than they were here in America.
Really? Oh,
They
I
were.
I'm a country kind of thing.
So the Bop boys. So I was certain that I would marry Taylor Hanson. Okay, the middle one. He's my age, and and he is like super white, yellow. Oh, yellow, blonde, blue eyes, and that was me. I don't know why, and that's not a lot of people in Brazil like that look
Yeah.
like that. So, and that was it. My whole teenage, I dreamed that I would do that. But when I grew older, to be honest, I didn't want to get married. I wanted to be a strong, independent woman. Because I needed no man.
Good for you.
I
Slay
know.
girl.
Totally opposite to me. That's all I dreamed about was being married.
Yeah, I didn't want. I want to have I was like, I'm going to have my own home, my own apartment, be independent and work and stuff like
I
that.
want it all. I am going to be rich and powerful and famous. I'm going to be the next president of Brazil. And I will have several children that will look like me.
Yeah, but, and this is something important, like I chose to get married. It wasn't imposed on me. I chose to get married. I chose to have children, and I love it. It's hard, it is. I remember when that clicked. I was pregnant of my first child, my girl, and I had an appointment with my guy, no, my OB, right?
Yeah.
And I was mad with Daniel, my husband, because I asked him to do something. I don't remember what was it. And it was been like months and he didn't do, man, right? And then I went and did myself, but I was really stressed. It was something hard. And then I was telling the OB, all about it. And she burned me. She was like, look, nobody, she's like, literally, she said, nobody forced you to get married, to have children. You chose. Now you deal with it.
Oh, she told you.
I know. And she was like, you need to cry, go in your bedroom, cry, but get up, dry up your tears, and move on because you chose this life.
I love Brazilian tough love, guys. I thrive on it.
Imagine
awesome.
if you hear that from your doctor, would you say, probably you would just switch. But that struck me. I was like, she's right. I chose this, and why I'm going to be complaining about this all the time, and crying about it. So I was like, it's true. And so I chose to be a mother. I chose to be a wife. It is hard. It's not a piece of cake, but I wouldn't change for the world.
You feel fulfilled.
I feel I'm complete.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I know you said you lived in Brazil for 4 years
After getting
married. Yeah. So what made you guys decide to move back to America?
That's a very good question, Jamie. So when my husband is 5 years younger than me. He is from Nevada. I don't think it's South Nevada, where they have like a Reno. So he is from Battle Mountain, a farmer for his whole life and many generations before him. So he never had a job in his life. So he was 23, I was 27. I left home when I was 15. I already had my own business and everything set in Brazil. And also I couldn't get a visa. I tried 3 times and it was denied. The first time I tried a visa, it was before him. I went to the consulate and I answered all her questions. I had everything. And she said, no, I'm not going to give you a visa. And I was like, why? She's like, because I don't think you're going to come back.
Yes, she knew. Look at that.
And I was like, but I have all the documents proven that I will come back. She was like, documents don't prove anything. And I was like, what prove then? She was like, what I see.
Wow.
That was my first interview. The second, I don't remember, to be honest. The third interview, I was talking to Daniel already. And I told her, I'm going to meet this boy. And I shouldn't.
That's when.
Yeah, so she looked at me. She was like, well, when you're engaged to him, you file for a fiancé visa. So I couldn't get a visa. I already had my life made in Brazil. And Daniel never had worked in his life. So he started, before we got married, he started working for me. I had a ESL school. It's English as a second language. So I taught English and I had already a whole school. And then we started working with me, not for me, with me. And then, so we decided that we had things more figured out in Brazil than here, So we got married in Brazil. We stayed in Brazil for 4 years. Then, and this is the interesting thing, as you guys know, we are religious, right? Religious. So when we got married, I felt like staying in Brazil was the right thing. I didn't understand why. But in those 4 years, Daniel went through things that he would never go through here in America, He had to work hard to pay rent. We had the crappiest car one could afford because we couldn't afford no AC in the car, no AC in the house.
I would die.
I know, right? And so, because Daniel was very protected in his sheltered. Mm-hmm. So he didn't know what hard life was. So before marrying me, he was terrified of having a 9-to-5 job. He was like, how can people work 9 to 5? After being in Brazil, because if you have a business, you work 12 hours, not just 8, Mm-hmm. So we were the first ones to get to our business and the last one to leave. And when I got pregnant and had kids, he had to take over. So he worked like a slave. And then when we moved here, he was like, please get me a 9-to-5 job. So it was really good for him, because I lived by faith my whole life. I always never had the money. I had to believe that, it would show up. So we lived in really different conditions that he was used to. the poor in America is nothing compared to being poor in Brazil. It's totally different. The poor, we came here with nothing, and we got for free a car that was automatic and had AC. We were terrible. We were like, I was like, for free.
The poverty.
It's totally different.
It's different. It's misery.
Yeah, it was like a minivan. I never drove in Brazil. I never drove in Brazil because I never learned how to change gears.
To do the switch.
Yeah, so I learned how. I got my first driver's license here. You know, I was 34 years old when I learned because it's automatic. I can drive automatic.
Automatic's way better. Yeah.
4 years later, we felt it was time to come.
Now, most of the cars in Brazil are automatic.
Now.
No.
But in my time, you had they were, but it's too expensive.
Yes.
We couldn't afford
They
it.
had there, but
We had a
expensive.
2001 Celta, like with just 2 doors, no 4 doors. Okay, guys.
Basic
So
car.
very, very basic, and
but very reliable.
oh yeah, no, I gave to my sister when we moved here, and she still has it. She's still going. Yeah,
That is awesome.
wow.
still going. So what we felt here was the best place to raise our children.
Yeah.
When you have children, it's all about them.
Yes.
And I was terrified in Brazil. I used to go in the back seat with my daughter because it was very common in Brazil for someone to stop you in the traffic, take your car, and not give you time to take the baby off the baby seat. The
Oh,
car
wow.
seat. Yeah. So I was terrified. So I would always drive in the back because in my mind is if they take the baby, they are going to take me. You know, they're not taking my baby without me. And I was terrified of that. São Paulo is a very dangerous city. So I was panicking. And then we decided it was time. So I went to the consulate, and because we had 2 children and they were both registered in the American embassy, sorry, they were Americans. So they gave me the visa without asking me any question.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Fine. Because Daniel was right there too.
yeah, so I
Yeah,
was married with an
married.
American with 2 children. They had no, so I got the visa and we came here, and it was the right thing to do in the right moment. You know,
I am glad.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we have you in our lives.
That's
Imagine
right.
your lives without me.
Nothing, guys. Nothing.
Well, Denzel never lived in Brazil, married, but you visit, right?
Yes, I
With the
went
whole
visit.
family.
Yes, several times.
Yeah, I went twice only back, but my children don't speak Portuguese. I didn't teach them. So we have a language barrier.
My house is bilingual. We
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
She
2 or
speaks
3
Portuguese
languages.
with her husband. I don't speak Portuguese with my husband. So my husband's Portuguese is so rusty that he was using an app to practice his Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Guys, it's hard because it takes longer to communicate in a language that someone is, So when I speak in Portuguese with him, I have to repeat myself, I have to explain things. And so we do talk sometimes.
I
but
was
not
very much
often.
more judgmental of people like you earlier. Yes. Being
On a
blunt.
side note, it is hard to have friends that speak Portuguese because they'll sit there and chit chat, and I'm just smiling because I have no idea what they're saying. They could be talking about me, and I wouldn't know it.
We try not to. That's something true. We try
Yeah.
not to, but sometimes.
we try to be very considerate.
do.
Yeah,
You
we,
do.
we try,
Yes,
but
definitely.
sometimes it's just a switch that flips.
Yes.
And I like sometimes I
When
do
one
that.
started, the other one goes along.
Exactly. It's interesting.
Well, and sometimes you guys don't know how to say it in English, so it's
Exactly.
easier to do
It's
it because
yeah.
then she's trying to explain to me what they're saying, but she doesn't know the words.
And then we use Portuguese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's that too.
You would think I would learn a little bit of Portuguese being friends with you, but yeah, no.
Give it a couple more years.
Well,
I
speaking,
believe in you, Jamie.
I just have to put in the effort, right? So one thing about going on with learning English, did you know English before you met your husband, or did you learn it after? Dantzel, we'll start with you.
Before I went to school in Brazil for English for 7 years. That's why I came to America, to practice the English in college that I have spent many years learning in Brazil.
How old were you then when you started?
19.
19.
But that's one thing about learning a language in another country that's not their language. Doesn't matter how good you are or how good you think you are or how expert and professional you are, it's never the same thing as a local.
Did you
That's
have
true.
that shock when you got here for
Oh
the first time?
my
I
gosh.
did.
Well, especially with the accents, you
Yeah.
know, like with different pronunciations of words, because I learned from the books. Then we would enunciate every syllable, you know, every syllable of every word, every piece, and we were talking more, how can I say, more erudite, more, oh, like we talk older than you guys talk. There's so many slangs and things that we don't learn there.
Yeah.
And then suddenly we got here and everyone's talking like a totally new dialect.
Yeah.
We can understand it here in like pieces here and there, but then we just like what those words even mean, and how fast it is too.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that's a funny story because Bevan, my husband, one of the things that when I arrived here, he would tell me "warm it up," and I what is that? Which word is that? Warm it up. I never heard of this word. Warm it up. And he said it's actually 3 words in one.
Oh.
Warm it up. Go warm it up. Warm it up. He was telling me to grab my food to the microwave and warm it up. Warm it up. And which word is that? Because it was so fast. Warm it up. Warm it up.
Yeah,
Warm it up.
It sounds like one word.
Exactly. You know, like, and there is this, every language has that,
Yeah.
you know, like the basics and the slangs and the day-to-day lives and the different accents to different areas of the country that you go, even in the same state.
Yeah.
You know, then it's very interesting that was the biggest shock, that I thought that I knew so much better than I did, and which made me thrive in college because I was really good at reading and writing, but I wasn't as good as talking and listening, and that was my shock.
Yeah.
So you said you went to school for 7 years to study English.
Yes.
Because in Brazil you don't you have schools only for English, right?
Yes.
So I had one, but like it was later. And now you can see the difference of life that Dantzel and I had.
Yes, guys, we came from very opposite lives. In
I
Brazil.
could never afford to pay to learn that. Okay. We were poor, like really poor, to not have couch at home. We had a bench, to not have a fridge. You know, my mom cooked in a furnace that my father built with his hands. Okay, I think the first time we had a stove, I was like 16 years old.
Oh wow.
A fridge also. I think when I was 16 we started having those
Vocês
things.
tinham fogão a lenha, né?
Fogão lenha. Yeah,
Okay.
fornalha. We called it fornalha. So I was raised really different, but I learned English by myself because I loved it. You know, the concept of a different language. You know, and because of Hanson, the band that I
Yeah.
saw.
Because she knew she was going to marry the blue eyes.
I was
She's
gonna
gonna
marry
marry him.
Taylor Hanson, so I needed to learn English.
So how did you learn it? Like books
With music.
or music?
With the music. So what happened is, no internet, no computer, right? So there was this magazine called Atrevida. Do you
Oh
remember?
my gosh, I love it.
So every month it would come with one music in English with a translation in Portuguese. I couldn't afford.
cool.
I couldn't pay for the magazine, but of course there is always that rich person in your school. So in my classroom there was this girl, amazing. I should tell her to watch this. Glenda. She bought every month. I would borrow during school because she wouldn't let me take home, right? So I would say, can I borrow your magazine just to look over it? I would write, I had a notebook. I would write the lyrics in English and Portuguese. Every month a new one. I got to 50 lyrics.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's effort.
I would study that, the phrases, the sentences. I would listen to the music, and I could only afford when it comes to the radio. You record it on the cassette. So I would record it on the cassette when it would come on the radio because I couldn't buy the cassette, the like, you know what I mean, buy the CD or whatever
Yeah.
at that time. But that was the type was cassette. So I would record it when it come on the radio, and then I would listen and repeat it. You know, and with the translation, and that's how I learned English.
That's amazing.
I'm so proud of you.
I know, right? I'm
I
so
love
proud of you
it.
too. And then when I went to serve on a mission, I served a full-time mission. I had 2 American companions.
Okay.
Then I
You were
was
able to
like,
practice.
I asked them, can we just speak in English when we are alone? And that helped a lot. But man, and then I started teaching English after my mission. So I was like, I really know English, right? Until I met my father-in-law, if he doesn't know that. I didn't tell them yet that I have a podcast, so I'll probably tell them, and they will listen to this. When I got engaged with Dan, when it was time for us to get married in Brazil, his mom and his father came down. I couldn't understand a word his father said. I couldn't. He has this, I don't know, accent, if he has, but he doesn't open his mouth to speak.
I think it's like the country growl here.
Yeah.
Because when we're learning a language, we do a lot of liberating. And there is a lot of talking side, that we struggle. I did struggle with that too, because Bevan was from more of the country areas.
I don't know.
Farmers
So-
too up north. Then I really struggle from
So
the
I
accent.
couldn't. I would just smile. He doesn't. I never. Daniel knows that. I told him I can't understand the word your father said.
Yeah.
So he was so hard. But then they came back. So they were just there visiting, and then when I moved here, it was a shock. I was like, I thought I knew English, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's totally
So we study English as you study math.
Yeah.
We don't. You learn like my children, seeing them learning English. It's so different how I learned English.
Yeah.
I studied like you study math. Formulas. We have this, and it's different when everybody's speaking. Like it's. I felt like wow. Wow. I really felt like I was listening to English for the first time.
My kids have taken Spanish and French in high school, but they don't know. Like if they talk to somebody Spanish, they would not know a word what they're saying. They may catch one word or that, so it definitely makes a difference when you are living the life versus.
So the truth is, if you're Brazilian, for some reason watching it from Brazil, you have to come and stay at least a month. Anywhere. And I heard we are Utah. I never left Utah. I heard that it changes from state to state.
Yeah.
It does.
Well,
does.
different accents. Like when I lived in Massachusetts,
yes.
we didn't say our R's, and you thought I was born and raised there, and every now and then you can.
Yeah, my
Get a
daughter.
glimpse.
My daughter taught me because my English is from Utah, guys. She told me that mountains, it's a Utah thing.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
You
I thought everybody says
don't
mountain.
say the T's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I struggle with that. Mountains.
Mountains. I didn't know that, so I think
Mountains.
everybody says mountains, and she said no, it's a Utah thing.
It's a Utah thing.
There you
Definitely.
go.
There are a lot of things she was telling me that it's a Utah
Guys,
thing.
Yolanda is looking for friends from out of the state, please. She
Well, like in
needs to broaden her horizons.
So, but that's what I'm afraid of. If I go visit another state, I'm gonna struggle again to understand.
no,
Yeah.
it's
No,
not like
you'll-
that.
you'll
You
catch
have
up.
you have Jamie.
like
She's
the
a very
southern,
Georgian.
the southern. You say fixin', or you just add little words in, but it's still the same
Yeah.
concept. You just
Now I'm used to it, but when I met Jamie, the accent, it was really strong. But I understood everything, but I was like, I told Daniel, where is that accent from?
it's died down living here for 5 years.
It did.
Yeah.
Because I love your accent. I think it's the cutest thing ever. Makes
But
you
I think
so much
John's
cuter.
accent is stronger than
Oh,
yours.
definitely. But he was
he
born and
definitely-
raised there,
Yeah,
know,
he's
like
way stronger. He's like,
yeah. Now, if I go back to Georgia, you definitely can tell that it picks back up.
it
But
does. It does.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, mine.
But it was
definitely-
never a problem for you to understand. You could hear the
No,
accent,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you were
I never
always
had
able
a problem
to understand. That's what I'm
understanding
saying. Like, if you get
Yeah,
out of
you
the
go
I
Those
hope
are
so.
understand to
I
do
hope
it.
so. Oh, of course, they are gonna have maybe some slangs that we don't use.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
No.
So, what is you guys' funniest story about learning English or a mistake?
Oh my.
Any?
Well, my funniest is that my children correct me and they make fun of me.
it doesn't matter. They still do to me too.
They make fun of me like
all the time.
they correct me all the time and sometimes seriously. I swear I'm saying the same thing that they are saying, but they swear it's different. But,
Sheets.
oh yeah, no, not like
Beach.
beach. They
Yeah.
always say that I'm saying the bad word. It's not.
And that's why
That's
I go around and I use the words like very long, like sheets, beach, for people to understand what I'm saying,
But that-
because several times we say that word wrong. And I
Yeah.
have the same thing in English. I just feel like for Modern Family, very much like my Colombian
I love her so
sweet
much.
girl.
Sofia Vergara.
Sofia
Love
Vergara,
her.
guys. I wish I was that bombshell girl. I love you. You represent all the Latins here. And I love it. And I feel the same word in English, like the word look. For me, look, the name.
That's true.
The name. How to me sound the same.
Look.
Look.
But you know,
Look.
I've been speaking the same language my whole life, and I struggle. There was this one night when I was a kid, and I couldn't say position. I would call it petition. And I was like, I'm in a bad petition. And my sister's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm in a bad petition. And it was like 20 minutes later, she realized I was saying position. And she had to like teach me that it's not petition, it's a position. And so we still laugh about
I
that.
think the funniest story I have is my son, my youngest. He asked me, "Where is my iPad?" His iPad. He's like, "Mommy, where is my iPad?" I said, "It's in the couch." He looked at me. He was like, "Mommy, why you're always saying things are in some place where they are when they are on the place? Like it's in the couch." I was like, "Why you always say things are in when they are on?" You know what I mean? It's on the couch.
I know, but that
In Portuguese, it's just one word, guys. It's the no sofá. It's the no sofá. It doesn't matter if it's in or out.
Yeah.
Or so it's hard for us because we think in Portuguese sometimes and we translate it.
Yeah.
and
that makes sense.
and actually the rest of the world really struggle with the in and on. It's one of the main things in English that
Yeah.
we struggle.
Yeah,
We
but
get
I do
confused.
have a funny story not about the language, but about this mix of culture. So in Brazil, we have passion fruit. It's very common. We love it.
Yes.
Right? It's my favorite flavor. It's passion fruit.
Maracujá.
Maracujá. And my husband is American. It's not common here. I never seen one here. I wish. But you don't eat passion fruit, okay? You make things with passion fruit, like you make
You
a
just use the
juice.
pulp.
Yeah, So my husband, we were married in Brazil, and then we went to grocery shopping and I bought passion fruit. And then I was doing the laundry, and then I was like, make passion fruit juice for us, right? So he came, he cut the passion fruit, and he threw the pulp in the trash. The seeds, okay? It's the seeds, the pulp. So there's seed
Yes.
inside.
Yeah.
He threw the seed, and he came with the shells, and he was like, how do I make juice with this? With the
Oh my gosh.
And I laughed for like 2 weeks, and he was so angry. He was like, "How am I supposed to know?"
That's right. I'm with Daniel on that
And
one.
I was like, "No, Daniel, you use the seed. This is what you throw away. What the shells is the seed inside that you use to make the juice. You blend it, and then you. How do you say coa? You coa. Você coa o suco.
Just
You
because
filter
you
it?
asked, now
you don't.
I don't
Yeah.
remember. You
So-
filter.
You
You,
filter
you in a way
When you have something
yes.
with that you want just the juice, not the thing, you use the
Purate it.
purate it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you use the
Filter.
like the thing, and you put in, and then it comes like So
Yeah, you're purating
coador in Brazil,
Yeah.
you use a coador.
Yeah.
So I was like, then you blend it, and then you use the coador, the filter, to separate the juice from the broken seed because you blended it. That's how you do it, and that's how you concentrate
he
it
threw
to
it
make.
all away.
You threw the thing away and came with the empty shell.
That's what we call the pulp, guys.
Exactly. So
funny.
I laughed for like 2 weeks. It was the funniest thing of me, but he was right. He couldn't know. He's like,
Yeah.
how would I know?
Well, I think my funny story is we owned a store, and Yolanda would make the signs
Oh, that's
for
true.
the stores.
With the
And
prices.
when we write in America, we do the dollar sign.
And
So
also I
like
use
$5.00. Yolanda, they don't do the dollar sign, so she does like the cent sign, right?
I do the comma instead of the dot.
Yes.
It's $2. I would put 2,00, and people got really confused.
It's because it looked like 2,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like
but-
$2,000. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's totally the opposite in Portuguese.
Yeah, so we use
How
the
we use
comma.
the dot and the
Yeah.
comma in prices, not in phrases.
Yeah, so and I had no idea. See, we have to learn. So until the day Jamie told me, I was like, it's not like that. And
It was like, this thing is not $2,000. And she's like, no, it's $2. I'm like, well, your sign says $2,000.
$2,000 exactly.
So now I know it's dot and not comma for prices.
Yes.
It's important thing to know.
It is important.
And
yeah.
it's things that you're not never gonna learn going to school in Brazil to learn English. you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
It's not something because the teachers learned English in Brazil too. You know,
Yeah.
most of them. And when Daniel was a teacher in my school, I charged more for the students to have class with him because he was American. So do classes with a native, you know. So and people would
Yeah.
pay him. So there was a time he didn't have more available time because everyone wanted to pay more and do classes with him because he was a native. You know, these are things. There are things that only someone from here can teach you.
But I think that's with everything. I mean, like my husband's an attorney. You know, I mean, he goes to law school and he's not really learning anything until he starts
works.
working.
Yeah.
He's learning so much more in.
And that's
The
why the
cases.
concept of internships.
Yeah, and the same with being a mother.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
had very different expectations. I had really different everything. My child will never watch TV.
Oh my gosh.
And then one
my
day,
child will never eat this. My child never
yeah.
do that.
And then now I'm like, thank you, Peppa Pig. Thank you for giving me a break.
That's funny. Well, talking about kids, have you guys? We talked about that you guys don't speak. Your kids don't speak Portuguese. Dantzel, your children speak Portuguese, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I know, like
Yeah. It's a broken Portuguese, as I call it.
yeah.
But,
But
they understand a lot more than they can speak.
And as we were talking about efforts, you know, Dimitri knows more because he put in
More
effort.
effort.
more effort.
Exactly.
Did you go to Brazil already now? He's in Brazil right now?
No,
yet?
not yet.
Yeah, he's going to spend second summer in Brazil
Yes.
with her family. So he's putting in more effort. So it depends on, I think, the effort.
On the child, definitely,
Yeah.
because Dimitri has never gone to school to speak Portuguese.
Oh,
And he's my oldest. So he speaks pretty good for someone that have only
go to
spoken home and doing Duolingo, you know. He's actually very fluent in Chinese because that's what he went to
the
school
immersion
for.
program, yeah.
Uh-huh. Then
But your youngest do the Portuguese in
now my two youngest are starting the Brazilian program, and my second too. I have 4 kids, right? My second, third, and fourth are in the Portuguese program. But if you talk to my second, even though he has going to school to learn Portuguese, he doesn't communicate as well as Dimitri because of effort.
Effort.
I see when you speak in Portuguese with him, he's like, oh, you
Yeah.
know, he doesn't want to. And
Exactly.
The other ones just answer in English. They understand.
Yes,
Yeah.
the little ones, exactly.
I thought it was the cutest thing. Nina, her youngest, came here the other day
Uh-huh.
and asked to call you, and she calls and say, "Mama." So cute.
So cute. I am Mama.
Yeah, it's
Well, I think it's so true though that the more effort you put in, the more you're gonna get out. You know.
Yep.
And that's the reason I'm gonna be honest, vulnerable a little bit. We have been wanting to do a mental health episode, and I've been postponing it because it makes me really vulnerable to talk about my mental health. But I was diagnosed with severe chronic depression 13 years ago, and I didn't have the emotional health to teach my children Portuguese. It was too much for me. So
It is
everybody,
hard.
yes, it is really hard because I would have to speak both languages, and it would take way more on me, you know. So I wasn't strong emotionally enough to do that, but it was hard because my whole family was like, "You are not teaching them Portuguese. How we're gonna talk to them?" My mom's like, "How I'm gonna talk to my grandchildren?" You know.
Yeah, that would
But
be hard.
it was hard, and I was feeling so much pressure. It was really hard, but I couldn't. You know, I didn't have what it takes, and so it's on me. It's not on them. I know they would do great. Kate, my oldest, was really interested now, so she is asking me things, and I teach. If they ask me, I'll do it. You know.
Yeah.
So she's using Duolingo too. She have some.
She's able to practice with Dimitri when Dimitri is,
that's
drives her
great.
around.
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
love that.
So she wants to, and she's putting in some effort. So she will probably learn. She really likes her roots, you know. because she was born there. She moved here 2 years. She was 2 years old, so she doesn't remember, but it's her roots. And she looks just like me, guys. So she is brown. She has like a really black hair. So it's her roots, but my children do not speak Portuguese. And if they want in the future, but I don't see a lot of promise with the boys.
Well, do your parents only speak Portuguese? So, like, how do they communicate with their grandparents? They don't.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's on me, okay? I couldn't do it. So, and I'm still, the depression doesn't go away, so I still can't do it unless they decide to do it. It can be on me, if they're going to do it, then I can
That is
help.
a fight that you're not going to choose. You are fighting so many other things.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
a
not
fight.
gonna-
It's a
yes.
battle that you just
So
not
I
going
had
to choose.
exactly. I had to
We-
make a decision, and I chose
Which,
English.
with a lot of immigrants, not just Brazilian immigrants, but any immigrants in general, that's what happens. And that's why you see a lot of older immigrants who are not even speaking English yet, or they struggle to learn English.
Oh, I know people that's been here for 20 years and they don't speak.
Exactly, or even more, their whole life, most of their lives, like we see a lot of Hispanics in general who, because they are able to go to their little, neighborhood and little area community and, feel right at home, and then they don't put the effort, which it can be really hard to put the effort, guys. And I'm not here to judge anybody, and as a mother of four, like I was so much better with my first two speaking Portuguese. I would speak double all the time. Now I only speak double half of the time. Seriously, and that's why you see the Portuguese in my first two and my second two. You see that in my journey of motherhood, I needed to choose my battles too every day, and there was a battle that I didn't want to do always. Yep. I still do more often than most people because my kids can be considered relatively bilingual, but there was parents that the kids speak like fluently, like even with their own country's accent, and I love this, and I have friends but that do that, and even the husband speak one language, the wife speaks another, and they learn English together. Like it's insane, beautiful, amazing. Kudos to you. And I did half of that work, and I still do, but it's not for everyone, and it's not for the faint of heart, because as a mother, as a wife, you already speak everything over like 3 or 4 times, right? You're constantly repeating yourself. Now, every single time that you're repeating yourself, you're also repeating another language.
2 languages.
It takes
I can see that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and that's why it's hard for others.
Well, does your parents, they speak English, right?
Yeah,
Dantzel?
they went to English school. Like they can, like. Yes, they had a little bit more financial condition, Yolanda. Thank you for pointing that out.
My parents, my father passed like 15 years ago. My mom doesn't know how to write or read in Portuguese.
Really?
So she doesn't know how to speak Portuguese, guys. She speaks so wrong that my husband can't talk to my mom, and he speaks
Really?
Portuguese.
That's sad.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So what does she speak?
Oh no, she speaks like you can understand her, but if you're Brazilian,
But she's so illiterate, that
Illiterate.
it's she doesn't follow the right words and
For
connections
example-
and
It's like
verbing.
talking to me.
No.
for example, the word doctor in Portuguese is médico. My mom says médico.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So she says like it's sometimes we have to like, mom, what is, can you explain what is that, because we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So she never went to school. Her father never let her go to school because in her time it was a boy thing.
Oh.
So my father went to school until fourth grade. So
Inequality right there.
My little 10-year-old would probably love to move to Brazil. Because he doesn't understand why he has to go to school every day. Like,
Oh my gosh, definitely.
I went to school because I wanted to. My mom never cared.
Yeah.
If I wanted to stop, and my brothers stopped. I have a brother that went only to fourth grade
wow.
to this day.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
my
she-
10-year-old would be so happy.
Yeah, she wouldn't care. So I chose to go to school to study. I chose to learn a second language. I chose to leave home and do differently. And I never had the money to go to college in the past. And when I had money, I didn't have time because I had babies. And now I am in college. you know. So because I think it's important.
Yeah, that's
I
amazing.
want to be an example for my children, you know, that college is important, education is important. Am I going to do something with my college degree? Probably not. I don't know. At the moment, I don't need it, but I want to have one. And also to be treated more fairly.
Ah, yes,
You know?
definitely.
And I'm already planning my master's. I want to do
And
my master's.
give you more value.
Yeah, yeah. So I do believe in that. So I want to be an example for my children. And so going back to the language, I had to make a choice, right? My family, I knew my children wouldn't be able to talk to them, but only 3 countries in the whole world speaks Portuguese. English is an universal language. You can use English anywhere you go, because they always have airports, and no matter where you are, they always have someone that will speak English with you. It's a requirement. In Brazil, if you speak English, you can get any job you want.
Yep.
Yeah, you know,
Wow.
it is. So it's because that's the requirements everywhere in the world. So I thought, if I prioritize English, my children will not have a disadvantage, you know? So Portuguese, it would be just to speak with that family, which is amazing, but, you know, so I had to make a choice because I couldn't do both,
Yeah.
you know? And
No, it was all a matter of survival, right?
Yeah.
Like how you're going to immerse yourself in that culture if you are not able to practice. And at home with your kids, you practice when you speak with them.
Yeah.
It's a matter of survival. Like you needed to practice your English and to learn, you know, like
Yeah.
to learn the language of the country that you live in. I totally understand that.
Exactly. And so that was a choice I had to make one, and I make a why informed one, right? And that's how we are now.
That's awesome.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a battle, each one of us.
Yeah.
A battle that we choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are getting close to the end, so let's go ahead and close this up. Let's just kind of look back. If you could go back and talk to your younger self about marrying an American, what advice would you give?
We can't answer. I'm kidding.
No, you go ahead.
I'm
Yolanda. I need to process everything and pass through the filter of what is moral and right to say, and then I say it.
But the truth is, I don't want to offend the Brazilians, but in my experience that I had with Brazilians and with American, is that because of culture or whatever, I would definitely tell myself, marry an American, please. Because Americans, at least the ones I know, are way more sensitive, better fathers, better husbands. Like changing diapers, you know, that's not common for most Brazilian men because of culture, you know. You will have your turn. So because of culture, you know,
so rude.
my father never changed a diaper or will or
Wow.
would. So Daniel, like in all Americans I've seen, like Bevan too, they are amazing husbands. You know, they treat us like queens. You know, yours too. So they give us the value we have. You know, so they treat us like queen. They treat us like equally. And my husband changed all the diapers, bathed the kids, put them in bed. To this day, he's the one that put the boys in bed because the boys still like being put in bed. I can just retire at 8 p.m. and he takes over. So I saw that, you know, that more sensitive thing, that more with Americans. And
There's more equality in the marriage
exactly
with Americans than it is with Brazilians.
Yeah, and my husband never said anything that would make me like feel less. Like for example, like I don't know, you know, like he's amazing. But I've seen that, and that's rare to see in Brazilians. Okay, and I would say marrying an American, I definitely wouldn't change that.
Let's talk about pros and cons, guys. I'm a little bit more logical than emotional person. That's
But
why
did you have
we are
boyfriends
counting.
before?
Yes.
So that's the problem. I had one boyfriend before my husband only.
Yes, and I had
So-
good and I had bad ones.
Yeah, so
Let's
I
talk
don't,
about
see,
this.
I don't have a lot to compare with. So.
Yes, but one thing, culturally talking, marrying, talking just the concept of marriage relationships, right? Marital relationships. Americans, they were raised in a bigger equality since the fight for equality for genders and housework and everything has been going on longer than in Brazil. My mother-in-law raised her boys and girls to do everything at home together, the same, then it already helped that generation, our generation, to get better. Yeah. They were already fighting the concept idea that only woman does that, only man does that, and that's one thing that marrying an American, and even in most European country too, is that they have this more of a equal marriage, like whatever at home or outside of the home, we take turns and we all both do the same ways. That's a great way. That's a great reason to marry an American. But there are some cons about the culture, guys. There's still a lot of marriages that struggle because cultures are so different. The way that they were raised, their belief systems, financial behaviors, immigrant laws, and all those things. And even culturally, what is acceptable, what's not, the expectations between men and women, husbands and wives. And I think it's not for everyone. There's a lot of people that struggle and that would struggle because of the cultural differences. And I would say, do whatever your heart desire. That's awful. That's what I'm saying. Like, well, the heart wants what the heart wants. If the heart wants an American, you're going to marry an American, even though you're going to come to America and suffer. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you are in love, it's really hard to say don't be in love with someone on the outside or not, or just be in love with Americans or not. We just need to point that out because I know very healthy and happy couples that are married to Brazilians, Based on my personality, I am too strong for my own people. I'm too much. Then I definitely would struggle a little bit more in my marriage marrying Latin men, not just Brazilian, but Latin men, because I have no submission at all as a woman, as a person, as a daughter, as anything. Ask God first, he will tell you. Anyways, then I really struggle with that. Then if I'm in a relationship that the man would try to remind me of my womanhood mothering place, I would definitely struggle with that. And Bevan loves me the way that I am, and he just leaves me so free to be how intense and strong I am, and that's definitely something that helps in his culture to be more accepting in a marriage, in an equal marriage, than in one that are still stuck in old ways.
He gives you wings to fly.
Yes. And that's why
awesome.
I come. But exactly, and that's why I come back. Mm-hmm. Because if I had no wings to fly, if you would cut my wings the first opportunity that I had to run away, I would.
Yeah. But thank you for sharing your stories with us, ladies. And if you are listening and you're ever moved to another country, married someone from a different culture, or had built life far from home, we'd love to hear your experience. You can like or comment on our channel. And
Let's
until
share.
next time.
Oh, what's the heart?
This is how I feel like this. Thank you.